Hi guys. You don't even want to know. How you doing? Nicole Peterson here. We are going to be doing a whole bunch of playing around with our new May products of 2023. I can't wait to show everybody what you can do with all the amazing, with all the new products and previously released products. Thank you, Jen. She can hear and see me. So we will be dropping some links, but it probably won't be as often as before because Jen got in trouble and was locked out of Facebook for like 24 hours. So we're trying something new. Hopefully it'll work, but I couldn't explain it to you because, it's something Jen and Matt decided to try. So the title of this is Card Making Using Paper Pouncers. We're not going to be making a card. We're not going to finish a card. We're going to play around. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things you can do with our new shaker dies, which I have right here. The dogs, they've been quiet all day, but it doesn't matter. They're just like children. As soon as I start doing something, everybody starts, they're playing. Can you get me the actual ones? They're in a blue envelope in the kitchen. Sorry, guys. All right, so if you're here, let me know so I can go ahead and get started. We are hopefully going to have a quieter live this time than we did on release day. We're home now, but of course, I'm not joking. As soon as I go live, the dogs will start. They're both that are making noise are standard poodles. So, yeah, they're spoiled rotten and they're too smart for their own good. So, here are some examples that I did in the past using our shaker dies. Now, notice I didn't use them as shakers. Okay, this is actually, there's no shaking going on. I use the inside or the trash part of the shaker. The trash part of the shaker to yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Matt is going to send a text in a few moments, so let's just wait and hang out. Tell me who's here. There's like 6 of you here, so I know one is Jen and one is PFS. So who else is here? Hi, Margaret. How are you tonight? Good evening to you also. Yes, so, guys, it truly is anything can happen during a live. I'm not joking when I say that one of our standard poodles hates it when I go live. There's so many things that she decides to get into. So this is larger. Hi, Jenny from Maryland. This is a larger than a normal slimline card. This is actually an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Pretty much, it's trimmed off a little bit, but it is the length, so it's 11 inches. And I wanted to make a rainbow. So the shakers that we're going to be talking about tonight actually were released in a kit a year and a half ago, but we finally got around to releasing them to everyone. So this is something I made a year and a half ago. It's really fun. And then we also have a shaker that is for lemonade. And this was really fun. Oh, there, look. Do you see how I put some yellow acetate on the inside of my shaker? There you go. There, you can see it. So here, when you're actually looking at this card, it looks like you're looking through actual lemonade. It's really fun. And I did use this one as a shaker, and it is a slimline card. I'm not gonna lie, slimline's my favorite. I don't won't ever turn away from it. I'm a slimline girl. So these are two cards that I have made. However, we are also going to be using our pouncers tonight. Now everybody knows, hopefully, that our newest set of pouncers were released on Mother's Day. No, on the 15th, the day after Mother's Day. So it's a set of 3. They're $12.99, and they come with, so we call the container that each of our paper pouncers come in a pod. Okay, it's a paper pouncer pod. So the pod comes with 3 components, or you could say 2. So it comes with the lid, it comes with the paper pouncer, and then it comes with the base of the pod, which we also use to store. And if you notice, I have a sticker on here that says oxide. And then I also put one on the outside of the lid of the pod, so that way I know that this pouncer I use for oxide or pigment. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to have a set of pouncers that are designated for just pigment, just oxide, just dye. I'm just doing oxide and dye because pigment ink and oxide, I don't even think I own pigment ink anymore. And if I do, it's a type of pigment ink that's more or less oxide ink. So these are the 2 that I like. If you use a lot of pigment ink and you use oxide, I would see if you could maybe use the oxide and your pigment paper pouncers together. I'm not sure how that would react. I don't think you're going to ruin your ink pads, but you just never know. So you might want to check in on that. That might be a question that we need to look into also. So I have labeled all of them. This is not everything that we have out, but this is a lot of what we have out. So also the rainbow set. So I have dye and then dye. And then Matt actually is ordering the little stickers in the clear with white writing. So if you think that's too dark, and we do have some darker colors, so and more that are coming out that we will want to have a white sticker on top of it so we can clearly and quickly see what type of paper pouncer you designated it for. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to look. Okay, guys. So I don't live, the warehouse is not at my house. So what I'm showing you are my prototypes that, that years and years and years ago, let's see, are similar enough. Yep, I agree, Amy, completely. Yep, I agree. But I agree with you. So Amy said the same thing that I believe, that you can actually use oxides and pigment inks with the same paper pouncers because oxide is more pigment, is closer to a pigment recipe than it is to a dye recipe. Okay, so oxide ink is a fusion. It's a hybrid ink pad, and it has qualities of dye ink and pigment ink, but it's much closer to a pigment ink than it is a dye ink. So I do believe that you can use something that says pigment ink with your oxide inks, and you should not have any trouble whatsoever. Yes, wait, what, it's dye? Yes, right. Dye ink, you never, ever, ever, ever want to use a dye ink and an oxide, or this doesn't work together, guys. Okay? Dye ink has its own thing. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So these are all my prototypes. I don't actually have the I don't have the packaging yet. So these are the dies that we're going to talk about tonight. So these are all the prototypes that I get in the mail that I check to see if it's actually what I wanted. So we have a pineapple shaker. We have, this is a martini. However, you can turn it into other types of drinks. There's all kind of cocktails nowadays, and we just were in Florida, and You know, every restaurant we went to, Sydney pretty much ordered the same drink, our 26-year-old daughter, but they would bring it in different types of glasses. And at one point, my husband said, "Oh, why are you changing the glasses?" So, you know, it can be a martini or whatever. So this is supposed to be like a tropical drink, like a daiquiri. However, I'm using this for wine as well. Here we have what I called a whiskey. However, this could also be a glass of milk if you wanted it to be. It could be an old fashioned because it has a cherry. Also, a Bloody Mary. I personally love Bloody Marys, so I'm not sure how that is all over the country, but where I live, Bloody Marys are made strong and very tasty. And then we have a lemonade, or if you wanted to use it for just a mason jar for anything, if you wanted to fill it with cookies or, you know, but it's meant to be lemonade. However, it is a mason jar, and the inside of this actually die cuts the shaker, but it also die cuts ice cubes as well. And then here is your beer, which this straw does not come with the beer. Mine are all mixed up. I couldn't even tell you what belongs with what. So this has the inner piece and the outer. And then, of course, we have my personal favorite, a margarita. So as you can see, these are the shakers that we had. We also just came out with a set of sentiments. They are called Make It Dirty. Because if I'm going to drink what are they called? Martini, it better be dirty. So these say, let the good times roll. Rum is my passion fruit. Laissez le bon temps rouler. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, but who really cares? On the rocks with salt is always a good answer. Because nowadays, they drink margaritas with sugar on the rim. No, that's like, okay, but not my age. The islands are calling, or maybe it's the rum. When life gives you lemons, call me. We can spike the lemonade. Thank you for bringing sweetness into my life. Make it dirty. Cheers. And then vodka called. She's bringing a friend. I love Cosmopolitans. And then these actually come, you can purchase the coordinating dies. Again, I have prototypes. So also, so I don't forget to show you, we also have this stamp set. This is called Sending Paper Hugs Your Way, and you can't buy it. You can only get it for free. And we have a lot, so don't worry. I purposely made sure that I bought enough to where, you know, not everyone can always order on the day that something comes out, that there would be enough for weeks. So this says, paper hugs headed your way. I can't even read that one because it's, what does it say? We might be far apart in distance, but never in my heart. Sending paper hugs and cocktails your way. And then with a cute little pineapple. All right, so you can't buy this. It is only available if you spend $50 or more. So if you have a friend that doesn't want this, but you do, you guys put your order together to make it $50 and order it, and then you'll get it. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to be playing around with a whole bunch of different things. Here's my little box of, I've showed you this during the live that I did, but I want to show you how these are not just shakers, okay? Because I separated them into different parts, meaning you have the inner piece and the base part of the shaker, you can actually make them, like this doesn't shake, look. That's just shaker garnish. I'm going to show you how to do that. So we have a whole bunch of little things in here that I did go over with you guys during the original live, but I was playing around today and I went ahead and apparently when the kit came out, I must have just gone, remember I told you I have a lot of prototypes, so I always have to cut lots of stuff. Yeah, poor me. I have such a hard job, right? Not complaining. But I ended up with baggies of, I'm so professional, right? Of baggies of all the pieces of the different shakers. So I went ahead and I separated them today so I knew what I had and what I didn't have to die cut to show you guys what we're going to do. So today I'm going to show you how. So this is what I was playing with pretty much out for hours. So this is the base of the wine glass. And I just thought it would be fun to see what the wine glass looked like with silver embossing powder. We're actually doing a blog hop, no, Instagram hop with Wow today, and this is their brand new polished silver, and it is a gorgeous color. It's I've never seen a silver like this, and then I just did some glasses to randomly see how that would work. I also created a little, no idea what this is. It's purple, and I put embossing powder on it. Okay, it's purple. All right, so let me show you what we're going to do. Also, I decided I was going to make some wine. So I took a little glass and I die cut the inside of it, and then this little part would slip in. And I actually had made a mistake with a silver pen, and then I ended up dipping it into clear embossing powder. There you go, clear embossing powder, and it ended up taking the part that I had used with the Sharpie and making it look totally, absolutely different. All right, do you guys see that? Okay, so we have lots of fun things we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to create these polka dots inside of this cocktail, because this is technically supposed to be a tropical cocktail. However, it can also be a wine glass. Hold on, I'm trying to fight with my light so you can see me. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is, we're actually, and I'm so excited, there is a new stamping tool on the market that has a patent, its own patent, which means it is different enough from the Misty, where the U.S. government said, yep, you can produce it. So it's called the Stamping Wheel by Altenew. And so I'm supporting Altenew with this, just like I did with the Misty. However, this is not just about stamping, guys, because it comes with this amazing silicone mat. It's actually not silicone, it's photopolymer, which is what stamps are made of. You can do all types of different things on it, like holding your die cuts in place. Is that not crazy? So I was using a little bit of water on it. So I was using embossing powder and clear ink. So this is going to be one of those, don't do this. I'm doing this because I can't find, and look, your stamp scrubber is amazing to get this off. It works well, but it's in the other room. Because again, I'm in my video annex. It's literally not really a room. That's right off my studio. Oh, here it is. There we go. Look, I found it. So if you take your stamp scrubber and wet it, do you see how it has this yellow, a white pigment ink on it? This stamp scrubber, look, it's gone. It's gone. So now your photopolymer, this is just like a stamp. So just like you would clean a stamp with our stamp scrubber, same exact thing. So that got it all off. And now I'm just going to dry it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I made all of these guys. So we're going to make a little rainbow card. These are not purposely, I'm not putting them in rainbow order. I'm just showing you what we're going to do. So there's two others. These have already been pounced on and embossed and done everything else, but we have another one here. I didn't make the red one. So, and look how nice it is to pull off. They're just so great. Actually, I really like using a pair of tweezers to pull them off. It doesn't hurt anything. It holds it. You don't need any tape. Or how about you don't need any pixie spray? I love pixie spray. but there are moments in my life where I wish I had never heard of pixie spray because sometimes I'm like, I just want to get it done. I don't want to fight with pixie spray. So before we start doing that, we are going to turn the inner part of the tropical cocktail dye into one of these fun little inside parts. So I have my red pouncer and I have candy apple red distress ink. Now I had a little issue with my distress ink today, which I've never had, but I've heard about it. It was dry, and I'd heard that in the past, just from online people asking questions, that they this has some cranberry fizz on it, which is also dye ink, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is. I do not need to stop and go clean anything. Do you see how it's just getting lighter and lighter and lighter? Okay, so basically now it's pink, so it's ready to go. You don't need to wash it. We don't need to wash extra stuff in life. We got dishes, clothes, the floor, the dogs, the kids. You don't need to wash anything. All right, now, watch how fast this is. So anyway, my candy apple red, when I opened the re-inker, it was like globs. And I had heard someone in the past, look how fast that is. I had heard someone say in the past, or I'd seen on the message board or something, someone asking that question if they, there's two of them, if they had ever had that happen to them. And I had never had it happen, but guess what? It happened today. So Matt said, just scrape it off the ink pad, which I did, which actually you can kind of see. It's kind of, so I might have to buy a new candy apple red, but I did throw that refill away. Okay, so there we go. Look how easy. Done. Okay, now we're going to pop this baby straight onto my, oh wait, actually before we do that, I always do this. First we're going to mist it. Let me get my heat gun. Now, I did learn that before we do the embossing and the polka dots, if you want to wet this a little bit so it has water drops, look at that. Don't put too much water. That was for myself. Now I'm just going to pick this up with my tweezers and I'm just going to dry it real quick. So this paper is Bristol Strathmore Smooth. You guys know that's my go-to for everything. Everything Bristol Smooth, the Strathmore. And you know, Bristol Smooth is a type of paper. You don't have to buy Strathmore. Legion Paper sells Bristol Smooth. Hanson sells Bristol Smooth. There's a whole bunch of different companies. Bristol is a type of paper. I didn't know that for a long time. This is still a little wet. Let me I want to make sure it's dry, because if it's not, do not heat on this surface or your hands. Because I almost just heated that in my hand. Okay, so now, okay, we have pounced on it, made it red. Look at that distress going on. Look at that. Amazing distress. Now we're going to stencil on it. So guys, the stamp wheel is not just for stamping at all. There's so many amazing things you could do with this. This is one of those things in life that you're like, oh, like Post-it notes. Whoever thought of Post-it notes must. Don't buy a new one, Ranger Wolverine. Oh, okay, Betty. Thanks for that. You know, one of those things in life, like a Post-it note. Whoever's the genius person that thought of Post-it notes, this is brilliant. So this is our Whole Lot of Polka Dots 6x6 stencil. And because this is photopolymer, it's naturally sticky. See how it's holding it down? So what we're going to do first is I'm going to place it down and I'm just going to push it. Guys, my stencil is dirty. I did not clean it yet because I knew I was, look what I just did. I knew that I was had plenty of time because I'm not using any paste or anything. Hi, Tiffany. How are you? Thanks for joining us. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take white pigment ink Ta-da! And like I said, I'm using my oxide white pouncer because pigment ink and oxide ink are literally, they're not the same. They both have their, okay, oxides and pigments are, and pigment ink are not exactly the same. However, oxides are close enough to pigment ink that you can use the same tools without having to wash them. So I just picked up a whole bunch of white and I'm going to pounce it down through the polka dots. Done. So super easy, guys. Then I'm using, this is Maker Forte. We did a collaboration with them, and I got this one free, and it's called Snow Flurries. It's got a little shine to it. Not just like dull white. It has shine. So we are ordering embossing stickers. So you see this is supposed to be an E. However, say that again. This is such a fun technique. Yes. And it's Sarah's favorite stencil. The girl loves a polka dot. So, guys, I have used this today. Look, the white ones are so new. I had never even played with them before. I am going to go directly. I'm not cleaning this. I'm going directly into my embossing ink. And I don't care if my embossing ink picks up a little bit of the white pigment ink, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I do this with my black ink. Like I had, like all my other embossing pads are black. And that's because I never cleaned the black off. I've never had anything cause any issues cross-contaminating with an embossing pad. And I've put stays on in it. I've done everything. Okay, we are going to have stickers that, you know, say embossing. Now, I'm going to pick this up. See how sticky that was? Did you see that? I mean, it's like stuck. Pretty much like the back of a good quality stamp. Now, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just slide this under and lift it up. It's stuck. I just didn't want to bend it. Now I'm going to take my, if I can find it, I'm going to go ahead and take the opportunity this time to clean it off real quick. This is just water because this is just water-based ink, so you do not need to put chemicals. If it's just water-based and has no chemicals in it, which is what oxide embossing does, then you can just wipe it off and move it to the side. All right, so that's just one thing you can do with your embossing, with your stamp wheel, is stenciling. All right, now we're going to clear emboss this. So this is what I keep. I got this on Amazon. This is Wow's extra super fine. It's not, the word's not extra. It's super fine embossing, clear embossing powder. And that's literally what I do. I have one of these that stays in here. I have one of these in Florida because I have to do lives there, and then one of them actually in my studio. That is the best thing I've ever done, and I like it better than the one with the side things that have to open and close, because this, when I travel with it, I just take duct tape and I duct tape the all the sides of it, and I don't have to worry about anything leaking out. And it's metal. It doesn't create static. Okay, I'm gonna dry this. I'm gonna heat this up real quick. Normally I start on the back, but this is really stuck to it because I had pigment. I used pigment ink, then I used embossing ink on top of it. And I did this earlier today where I didn't put the embossing ink on top of the white pigment. And, you know, it just, nowadays, white ink that they call pigment ink is not like the old-fashioned pigment ink where it would stay wet like forever. Pigment ink, the formulas have changed, and they've changed it for it to be, them to be much dry a lot faster. So see how quick that was? So now, and I already have these done, and I did figure out, because at first time, where is it? One of these, the purple one, is a little goofed up, because I embossed it. I didn't put the, I did not spritz it with water before I did the embossing and the white polka dot. So you need to spritz it with water, dry it, then do the polka dotting. It just made such a difference. Okay, so here's my card. And what I'm going to do is, we're not going to make a shaker. Nope, we're not going to. We are going to just fill these in like this. So I'm just going to grab some regular tape, like good old wrapping tape, Scotch tape. One day I'm going to have to clean these drawers out because they are just... Let me grab some wrapping tape. Go. Get out. Out. Oh. Okay, I told you my dogs are always bad when I'm live. Okay, so tape, regular tape. And I'm just going to flip this over and line everything up. And I'm going to tape this down. Let's see if I have it right. So if you notice, just taking it down. Now, if we wanted to, we could gray up these, the actual glasses to make them look like they're a real glass. So what I'm going to do before we do this is I'm actually going to pounce. Let me take this out. I'm going to pounce. Well, that's where you taped it, Nicole. On the outside of these glasses with tumble glass. I don't know about you. I love tumble glass. Now, guys, I could just do this on my glass mat, but I'm lazy. And I hate, it just takes too much time. I'm not lazy. It takes too much time when we're working for this for me to have to keep cleaning up. So we have 6. Oop, that one's messed up. So we have 5. All right, so I grabbed tumble glass and let's see what ink is on here. This is a little darker than what I want. So look at this. I'm just pouncing until it gets to where there's no blue left. So now, and look, using a ink pad that's already been, how would you say it, primed, okay, will pick up your ink a lot faster. So believe it or not, it's just like a good used stamp. The more you use the stamp, look at that. The more you use the stamp, the easier it is and the faster and the better the stamp actually works. And I know that I do a lot of prototyping, and I can tell you I do a lot of inking the first time on a brand new stamp that, you know, just came out and nobody cleaned it or anything. So I'm going to try not to put so much blue. So you see how fast that is? I mean, they're just, you don't even have to, I mean, I'm holding it because just to keep it still, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. All right, now, because I am a distress-loving girl, I am going to just mist these with a little bit of water. Said the word little, and then I did a lot. All right, let me close this, and I'm going to quickly dry these. I do like to dry them without taking the water away because it makes bigger distress marks. Now, this one is too dark. So I'm going to add some more water, and then I'm going to just flip it over and take off some of that blue and then dry it again. All right. Super easy, right? Fast. It's like, boom, you're done, right? Where is everyone watching from tonight? Yeah, where are you guys? I'm in Louisiana. Or, yeah, I was in Florida, but we're back. So, all right, so let's go ahead and put these back together. Look, it's so much cuter. Just that little bit of blue gives it a little bit more oomph. Now, if I wanted to, I could come in and just add a little shadow of blue, just a little bit, not a lot. And I could do that. I'm going to do one, then I have to do the other side. And you know, my favorite thing about shadows is you decide where the shadow is coming. If somebody tells you they don't like your shadow, don't give them another card. They don't deserve your card. They don't like where you put the shadow. Shadows are extra in handmade cards. You should be happy that somebody thought of you enough to give you a card with shadows. Now, I'm going to be honest, die cutting like this is not something that I have ever really spent a lot of time. I'm much more of a watercolorist than I am a I'm going to call it die decorator skills because, well, in the old days, we called it paper piecing. I think now what is done is a little bit more sophisticated than just paper piecing. So I am learning how to get my die cuts to look more realistic, I guess you could say. I'm learning. I'm learning with y'all. How about that? I'm learning also how to design them. So we'll see. There's always the new thing, right? You can't ever just go along and just rely on what you know. You have to learn something new. All right. So we have all these beautiful glasses. Let me check the comments. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick. So we only have 5 glasses. So I'm not going to cut any more out because there's much more I want to show you. So I'm going to pick what I want. Pink, green, yellow, red, and blue. Okay, sorry, I'm leaving purple out. Sorry, purple. Okay, so I have 5. So let me go ahead and quickly, I know I'm leaving the poor purple out, but someone had to leave the orange too, so I'm choosing pink. It's my rainbow. I can have whatever colors I want. So now I'm just going to, and you just need a little bit of tape. You don't need to pull it out as much as what I'm pulling it out. And see, I'm also kind of feel like I'm butterfingers when it comes to doing paper piecing, or I would call it die decorating. I feel like, you know, I fiddle with it because, you know, when you're coloring, you can fiddle with it all you want, right? But get in there. And it fits. It's just me being butterfingers. So now I'm going to take you back in there. You know what would be smarter? I wonder if I just put my tape like that and then came in. Ah, that might be better, Nicole. And see if that works. Let me try the pink one. There we go. That works. Sorry, you can't see. Now, if we didn't want to lay it in there, we could just lay it on top and be happy, you know, with that as it is. But, so we will quickly, look how cute those are with the little polka dots. I love polka dots. All right, now let's do this one. Lay that down. And you don't need as much tape as I'm pulling off here. Ridiculous amount of tape. So this is one way to use the shakers in a non-shaker way. That's what I'm trying to show you tonight. Later in the month, we have 2 more lives coming, and they will be showing you how to create the shakers using them as an actual shaker. Now look how easy that green one went in. That little sucker. Yes, so paper pouncers. Let's talk about paper pouncers. All right, so we now have 3 sets of paper pouncers. We have a set of 9, which is the basic rainbow. Think of it like a box of crayons colors with an extra green because I had to have dark green and light green, and it has 2 blues because I just had to. And then we have a pack of what I call the neutrals, which is gray, black, and brown. And then we just released the brand new white pouncers. Now, guys, the white, if you want to buy all white pouncers, that's fine with us, but if that's what you want to do. But the white pouncers really, my thought behind them was embossing, white pigment or oxide ink. And the next one I'm going to show you, you could use this with a product that Ranger has. It's actually many companies. But it's this, it almost looks like Vaseline, and you push it through a stencil, and it creates a resist. So you could use this for like any type of resist techniques where you don't want to put that residue into your ink pads as such. All right. I'm such a tape waster. Grab way too much. So we did just get back from Florida to visit Sydney, and we finally got to meet the boyfriend. Her boyfriend had been dating for 6 months, and she made me wait 6 months before I could meet him. And I kept telling her, what's he scared of? We're just a bunch of, you know, Southerners. What else are we going to do, right? Glaze. What is it called? What's it called, Holly? It's the name of the glaze. It micro pour. Is that what it's called? Micro pour glaze. Yeah, Holly. I mean, Holly's amazing with stencils, guys. She was our guest designer in January, and oh, she sent me one of the cards that she made. Her stenciling with our paper product, with our mixed media products. I mean, stunning, perfect, just beautiful. Okay, so here, if you notice, look how fast. Ta-da! Other than me fiddling around trying to get it to, I'm telling you, I'm butterfingers when it comes to it. It's because I don't practice enough with it. Okay, so what I did is we don't have time to do any kind of backgrounds tonight. So I just searched through all the backgrounds that I have just laying around the house. Okay, they're not laying around the house, in my studio. So I thought this one would be cute. And I do have others. I did this one I did with you guys. Most of these I did lives with you guys, and they just end up piling up over the years. So this is our rainbow slimline stencil. And guys, I'm not going to show you this tonight, but if you didn't know that your stencils emboss, You need to go Google that on YouTube. Go to YouTube and look up how the stencil emboss, how to emboss with a stencil. So you can save spending $15-20 on an embossing folder when all of your stencils, and you do not mess them up at all. They're very, very simple. So technically this should be vertical, but I'm going to say it's going horizontal. So this was my thought of what this card would eventually look like. So, ta-da! Okay, so there's one, right? We're going to call this card done and move on. It's beautiful. It's done. I'll finish it later. I want to show you something else. Now, how do you create with the same die to make wine? Okay, well, what I did is here's the same outline, okay, same thing. And what I did is instead of using silver embossing powder, I embossed it first in clear. I'm terrible at this. In clear, and then I went back with a Sharpie, okay, and I outlined it with a Sharpie and then filled in the base of it just with a silver Sharpie. Then I went back and I dumped it back into the clear embossing powder, and I wish you could see it. Anyway, so here's my wine. And then the wine, I took the paper pouncer, the red paper pouncer, and cranberry fizz, which is my favorite Merlot type color. Pounced it once on the bottom. I clear heat embossed all over it, and now I either have what you could call a glass of wine, or how about sangria? Sid told me that there's something going. Well, they went to, and I will be going to this. It was a sangria class where you learn how to make different types of sangria. I love sangria. But I'm on a new medication, so I am just trying to get used to it before basically I'm not drinking anything. I really don't drink that much anyway. But I'm kind of like on a little hiatus, if you will, from consuming adult beverages. So there's your wine. Okay? If you wanted to, we have all of the embellishments for this month. And if you wanted to, you could add. What would you add to wine? What goes on the bottom of what's in a sangria? Oranges? Limes? I don't know. Maybe I should have Googled it. What's in a sangria? Purple, maybe? So, what I would do to finish this off, if it is a sangria, okay? If it is sangria, you could come in and add an orange, maybe. You can, I'm going to dig through this to figure out an orange. What else is in sangria? Cherries, I guess. Pineapple? I'm not even sure. Let's see. Oh, the boyfriend. So y'all want to hear more about the boyfriend? Okay. So he's very nice. He's adorably cute. They're so cute together. We ate like about, I don't know, 4 or 5 meals together because, when we go to Florida, that's pretty much all we do is eat. Now, if you didn't want to put the fruit at the bottom like this, you could we also have what's called, I called it salt or sugar. Oh, wait, is watermelon, do they have watermelon in sangria? I don't know. Really need to Google this next time. Sangria with the fruit sequin bits add. There you go. Thank you, Sarah, who doesn't even drink. Okay, there's a little, with strawberries also. We have strawberries too. But what I really want to show you, okay, so there's those little things, okay? Imagine gluing those down. But imagine if it had ice cubes in it. So this is called salt or sugar. So what it is it's a mixture of irregular shaped little plastic pieces, and then I added these white beads to these white seeds, where if you wanted to, like across the top of a margarita glass, make it look like it's salt or sugar. Now I have heat embossed on top of this, but it doesn't matter. I have not crafted in my studio in literally it might have been April, because we just have been so busy with work. Come on. Sorry, guys. Nothing wants to work. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, I'm going to drop my fruit down there. Oh, there we go. So I'm just going to put a pretty thick layer of glue right across the top. Can y'all see that? Pretty thick. And then I'm going to grab a little piece of scratch paper, and I'm going for it. I'm going to let it have the sugar and the salt, because you can either use both of them or you could pick them out separate, whichever way you want. That's why we put them together, so you didn't have to feel like you had to go back and buy two separate ones. So now, to make sure this stays, I'm going to go back and put more glue on top of it. And I promise you, you will not see this glue when it's done. This is Barely Arts glue. I'm just going to drop a few more on top. Leave that sit till tomorrow. Like so. The sangria, they have ice cubes in sangria too, right? So I'm just going to come and put some little specks of glue. Do y'all see that glue? And then I'm going to take what I would call the ice cubes, the little plastic looking things, and just put that on top, so it looks like there's some ice. These are just so fun, and they don't have to be shakers. You know, that's one part of this that, now look, I love a shaker. Y'all know that. I'm a shaker girl. I always will be a shaker girl. I don't want to hear shakers are out of style, because that's not true. Because as long as the people who like receiving shakers still like receiving them, I'm still going to give them out. Because my grandkids, if I don't give them a shaker, they just look at me like, okay, what does it do? Mimi, we don't understand. This card does nothing. There's no shaking movement. There's no pop-up. So, you know, after you spoil your family with shakers for a while, they do then start to expect your card to do something extra than just be a card. All right, so I am going to come back in and add the little fruit back, which, what did I do with them? Okay, I think I get the idea, right? That now I can come in and add some more fruits. And I know I have a little tool to pick these things up, but like I said, I have not been home. I mean, we've been home, but we've been working, and then we went to Florida, and there was no way, I don't care how busy I was not going to see my baby girl. That was not happening. And I was going to meet that boyfriend too, okay? That boyfriend and Matt and I were all going to meet. Trust me. We really do like him. He's very nice. And he treated Sydney like the princess she is. You know, I do believe she is a little princess and should be treated as so. So it's fun. He works at Disney also. So there you go, guys. If you wanted to make sangria. Yes, I used my tweezers for Sequins. Yeah, but Sarah, if I tried to use my tweezers, girl, did you not see the butterfingers I had a minute ago? I'm not very good with. Okay, so there we go. That's sangria. All right. Now that I have a mess, but that's okay. It doesn't bother me. Now, oh wait, let me show you what else I did. So I told you we're having that collaboration, right? All right, so Wow sent me a jar of this brand new silver, and that's called gilded silver. Hey, what did she say? Wait till you see the pic of where. Oh my gosh, Dawn. Sarah, is this gilded silver that they sent us? Is that what it's called? Guys, this is 2 layers of it. It's gorgeous. Then, look, I took the same little piece, and they also sent us these other colors of, there you go. Look, there it is. You see that? So they sent us colored, like 2 sets of colored and silver and gold. And all I did was I just covered it. And this, oh wait, you know what I want to do though? I'm gonna wait. I want to pop this up with foam first. Do I have a foam piece already popped out? No, I don't. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. This to the side. All right. So how did I turn this is the same die, okay? How did I go flat to this, to where it's, 3D popped up? All right, so what I did is I had my fronts, and then I grabbed a piece of foam tape, foam, whatever you want to call this, double-sided foam. And then I grabbed the die that goes with it, and that is let me close this, because I am going to, Daisy would eat, my toy poodle, who's 16 years old, diabetic, blind, and deaf. She can't see anything, but if she finds a sequence on the floor, she's going to eat it. A sequence. It's insane. So I try not to put any sequence, I try. So I'm going to take the inside. So this is the die with the, what is this? I'm telling you, this has been, I haven't touched these in a year and a half since the kit, because that's what's bad about releasing every month, is that, you release something and then it's like, boom, you got to go on. All right, so I'm going to die cut this piece out of foam. All right, so let me turn my die cut machine on. Grab the plates. I'm using Anna Griffin Impress machine. So let's see. And I'm going to put the whole piece in there. So there you go. See? And then I'm going to pop this on top and feed that bad boy through. And it's going to die cut it. Our foam. Now, we're out of these foam sheets. I'm sorry I'm showing you something we're out of. I just didn't have any other choice, because I don't own any other foam. So, but I asked Matt tonight, because I was like, dude, when are we getting more foam in? Because tonight everyone's going to be unhappy that I'm using something that they can't get. Okay, he said he couldn't find the manufacturer. Shh, I'm telling you a secret. He had to go figure out who he ordered it from. So that's what's taking so long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a trick. Before you pop this out, take the piece that you want on the foam and place it on top of the foam while it is still in there. And what that does is when you pop this out, look, perfect. Ta-da! It's already done. Isn't that awesome? Look, if you just run it through and then you leave it in there, you're good. So now I'm going to take this off. I have no idea what purple drink this is. Maybe it's some type of Halloween drink. But look how easy that is. So that's all I did. All I did was take the part of the die that is technically meant to make it into a shaker. And instead of throwing that part away, I used it on top of the base. So there you go. So this is the newest Wow. It's like 2 or 3 new trios. This purple is beautiful. And I'm not a fan of purple, But I can see myself, well, I did use it. Look at that. Look at that purple. Isn't that gorgeous? It's just beautiful. And this is done. Now, if you wanted to, you could come in here and add, you know, whatever you wanted to put something at the bottom, or you could layer it across the top. You know, you can go and bling it up. Okay? And that's what I did with this card when I did this. That's why it had to be so big when I had to use a full sheet. And look, I don't even have blue and purple in here. It was just, all right. So this is how I did that. Okay, very simple. So how fast that is. All right, from Patos, Purple People Eater. There you go, Purple People Eater. I knew Dawn would know. All right, let me get a sip of water. Now I'm going to show you something else you can do. I want to show you how to make, so this is the martini of just what I just did, right? Instead of using you know, whatever I did with the purple, I just used some silver paper and I die cut the inner part and popped it up. Now, I did the same thing with this, except I filled in. So let me show you how I did that. I'm going to show you how I did both of these. So one of these, it's on the stuff you're filling is on the outside. Okay. So it's actually, it's not inside of a shaker. It's on top of the shaker. But this one here, the filling is on the inside. So you can see this one's on the outside and this one's on the inside. So let me show you how I did that. Very, very easy, fun. Get to use a whole lot of glue. I love using glue. And, okay, so here's my margaritas. Girl, dude, guys, I'm a margarita drinker, okay? Sorry, I'm not a hardcore drinker, but I do love some margarita. All right, so we need, and look, also, it could be a champagne glass. If you wanted to, you could fill it just up to the top, like right here, all the way down into here with something, you know, like kind of yellowish. It definitely could be a champagne glass. But when you die cut the inner parts, ta-da! Now we have margarita. All right, so we need one full that has not been, the inner part has not been cut. And then we need, and look how great they look, just on glitter paper. And then I have an inner and an outer, or two inners. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this white one, and we're going to do the margarita that has the stuff on top first. So do you see how it's on top of there? Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to add glue. And you want to put a lot of glue because you don't want this to come off because it's going to be heavy. Now you could pounce your card and make it, you know, gray or whatever, add some oomph to it. But we're putting this down to be our placeholder. So this is where we're going to add our shaker bits, but on the outside of the card, not on the inside. You got to make sure it's straight though. Are you straight? No, you're a little crooked. All right. Okay, now we're straight. Now, before you start, grab your shaker bits. Now, we did come out with red Cosmos shaker bits, but I don't want to use red for this. Let's see, what else did I use? Sorry. Okay, how about, can we make a peach? That's peach for me. We're going to make a peach flavored margarita. You can turn the other one into a sombrero. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, here's some shaker garnish. You can do this with sequins, but I'm not going to lie, it's much easier. And I'm just going to trace the outside of that white piece. So the trash. Is anyone surprised I'm teaching you how to use the trash of the die? Just don't start calling me the trashy die crafter. I don't think my mama would like that. But I'm filling all of this in with glue. Now, if you have some school glue, don't use it. You need real nice craft glue, because the difference between school glue and craft glue is how much water is in it. And if you think, oh, I'm going to get away cheap and I'm just going to use Elmer's, your die cut is going to bend and warp. Okay, so it's completely covered with glue, right? All right, so now I'm going to shake the shaker bits on top. Then I'm just gonna push them down a little bit. God, I keep going on the screen. Sorry. Push them down a little bit. And then I'm gonna shake it off. Has anyone been following Taylor Swift? That girl, she's so awesome. I love how she just speaks her mind. She doesn't let anyone mess with her. She's just, her mom must be so proud. There you go. Now you got a shaker on top. Now, I am going to tell you, I did this a second time. So I came in and I added more glue. You might pick up one or two little shaker bits. You can do this with Sequins, but guys, shaker garnish is very inexpensive, okay? You get that huge jar for $5. I mean, yeah. Actually, I always, when I'm working with on a shaker where I know I'm going to be using a lot of the more expensive shakers, I will pull out my shaker garnish and add some to it, just so, to stretch it a little bit, because this whole entire jar is $5. That's it, $5. All right, now I'm going to come in and add some. Oop, a pink one got in. Get out of there, pink one. Okay. I'm going to add some more. This is really how I work. This messy. Yes, this is what it looks like. Mm-hmm. All right. Now I need more right there. So more glue. And if you wanted to, you could even put glue just on top, even if you don't plan on putting more, just to kind of seal them in there. But they're going to be pretty stuck after all this glue. I need some more right there. And then tomorrow, if you need some more, you just fill them in. There you go, guys. Stop. Isn't that fun? So easy. Love all that sparkle. Isn't that fun? Look at that. Oh, and I finally got the light to work. Okay, now we're not done yet. Now let's add some salt or some sugar, whatever it is. I still can't I cannot drink a margarita with sugar on it. I need that salt. I need the salt. Sydney's like, ugh, Mom, how can you drink that? I'm like, I don't know. Ugh, how do you drink that with sugar around the rim? Does anyone agree with me about that? That like margaritas should not have like sugar? There should be salt. I don't get it. So I'm just coming in here and I'm going to, and you don't have to do this. You could put both the seeds and the little plastic pieces. It's whatever you like. To me, I think they could be either way. The little white pieces could be the salt, or they could be the sugar. What do y'all guys think? Turn them around. Turn them around. Oh, you mean cut it off like this? And it could be a sombrero. Oh, yeah. Girl, you got margaritas on the mind now? Thinking of sombreros? Okay, so I'm just gonna do this to get it to stick. Yes, this is really how I craft. Okay, I'm gonna shake it off. Shake it off. And then I'm not gonna sing. I don't like it when people sing on live, especially when they have a voice like mine. Anyway, we're going to shake it off, and I'm going to go put a little bit more glue on top, just in case. All right, so this is done. Now, before you add this to your card, I would die cut at least 3 more of these bases and then stack them so this is nice and sturdy, okay? Because one of these, it's not very, sturdy. So I would definitely die cut the base of this margarita 3 or 4 times, stack them on top of each other, and then put this on top. All right, so there we go with that one. So I've shown you how to do this one. And now let me show you how to do this. This one's actually easier. All right, so we need a margarita that has been die cut. But then we need the little inner piece. And it doesn't matter what color the inner piece is. I don't have a white one, so I'm just going to use this little silver one. And we're going to flip it on the back and finagle. Did I not show you how to do this? Wait. Oh, I need to die cut foam first. I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, so, sorry. Start again. We're going to take the base of the margarita die. Now, the margarita does come with the word margarita and the shadow. It doesn't come with a straw. I just kind of have my stuff like all stuck all over the place and not, I didn't put it all back because it all goes together. All the pieces fit together. So I put all the little doodads together, all the little like cherries and lime and whatever else that I wanted, whatever else were in them. I'm going to die cut this. Same piece of foam. I do like to use an electric die cut machine when I am die cutting foam because it's just easier. It just is. Okay. So now we have that die cut. And we're going to die cut the inner. So actually, I'm just going to leave that in there and take this inner one and place it on top. So this way I'm making 2 pieces of foam. Right? Do I need foam? No. What am I doing? Yes, I need the foam. Okay. I don't have to use it like this, but I'm just doing it to save on foam. All right. You think I can do it without taping it down? I don't think so. So I'm going to tape this down. So I'm cutting the margarita glass like it's supposed to be cut to make a shaker, even though it's not going to be a shaker. What did I do? Okay. And it's okay to run that foam through twice. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to run this through. Now I'm not going to need that inner piece of foam that I'm die cutting for the margarita. I'm not going to need that. What I'm going to need is I need the foam die cut, not the inner piece of the foam die cut, not this piece. It's not the piece I'm worried about. So I'm taking this off. I definitely cut that through. Now, before, do I need to die cut? I need to die cut this. So I have something to put on top. Or do I already have? No. Let me die cut this. So now I'm die cutting the shaker element into the front of my margarita. So that way I have this outer piece to cover up the foam. Yeah, this is going to take me like hours to clean up. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, I don't really need this piece, but I'm going to keep it because who knows, I might need it. Now, this is the trick. We do not need this inner piece. You see this piece of foam? We don't need it at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it off, and I'm going to take one. I'm planning ahead for another card. So I took one of the release papers off for the inside of this margarita. See why you should do it before you take it out? It's so much easier. And I'm just preparing ahead. This is not even for this one. I'm just preparing. Okay, there you go. Now, before I push all this out, I'm going to take the backing, the front, off of the original foam, and I'm going to find what I die cut, like so. And I'm going to attempt to line this up to the best of my abilities. This is why I like doing it before I pop it out. There we go. Okay. So now we have the inner and the outer. Now we can release it from the foam backing, because now whenever you run foam through a die cut machine, it flattens it. So if you pull it out, by pulling it out, you could distort your foam. And that could be why, if you've ever tried die cutting with something like this before, that you just couldn't get it to work. And it could have been because you distorted your foam when you pulled it out. Okay, now I'm going to remove this inner piece because we don't really want this inner piece. Trying not to distort my foam. So I'm just preventing, by putting the paper on top already, that it's die cut. It just actually wants to fight with me. It wants to go through the back and not the front. So let's see if I try to pull it this way, because it's die cut, but sometimes, you know, it wants, there you go. It just wanted to come out the back and not the front. Okay, so we got this piece. Save this for later. I'll stick it right there for now. Now, before I get started, I'm going to go take another piece, another whole margarita. But the only thing is that you got to remember, this is the back. So you might have to place, so when you die cut, you get that perfect edge on the front, and then on the back, it's not, like, it's kind of, looks kind of torn up. Well, you're going to want that flat edge towards the part of the foam that's facing up, because that way, just in case, they're supposed to be, you know, perfectly mirror image, but there is nothing perfect when humans are involved, right? Okay, there we go. So basically, we built a shaker without the acetate. Okay, we built a shaker. Now we have this part that we could put on top of this. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. Super, super easy. Let me go grab my, I don't know why, but I don't have my green paper garnish. Now look, you can make this like a whatever kind of cocktail you want, because nowadays I don't think there's any rules on what type of drinks come in what type of glasses, except like wine glasses or something. Because let me tell you, Disney World last week, Matt had a few beers, and he asked me. He said, "So why since we've gone to a different place than the restaurant, like we went inside the little lounge area that was part of the hotel." And he's like, "Why are they bringing her now another drink in a different type of glass?" And I looked at him and I said, "How many drinks have you had?" He's like, "I don't know." He was on his third beer. Okay, we're lightweights. So now, instead of putting the acetate and trying to keep it from shaking, we're going to fill it and make it where it's flat. So it's not a shaker. It looks like a shaker, but it's not because we didn't use the acetate. So yeah, it was very funny to listen to Matt question Sydney why they were bringing her, I don't even know, a Manhattan, not a Manhattan, old fashioned, in a different drink, like glass. I say drink in a different glass than what they had brought it previously. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to say, but that's just kind of, I don't know. Maybe that's what the bartender grabbed. So it was funny. He was all like, "Well, I don't understand." After his 3 whole beers. All right. Now, the only tricky part is you're going to come in here. And if you have glassy accents and you have a lot of it, this is perfect. You can use your glossy accents. This is going to dry clear. But if you happen to have like 3 bottles of glossy accents just sitting there doing nothing instead of your good craft glue, I would use that. Ooh, you know what? Crackle glossy accents. Ooh, I wonder if I have any of that. That would be awesome. Because they sell it's like it's a glue, but it cracks. It's by Ranger. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna fill this in. Now tomorrow. Oh, all right, so you see, I filled it all in. Now, if I was smart, I would have just found a funnel. Let me use this, and some kind of tray to do this on. This is why when working in this annex is so difficult for me because it's not my studio. I don't have everything in here. Oops, something fell out. Get back in there. So you see it left me a little hole, which I'm going to have to go put more glue. Maybe this time I shouldn't shake it off until tomorrow. And again, shaker garnish is so inexpensive that you can do things like this with it and not worry about, okay, so I'm not shaking it this time. So you see this, and I could still actually add silver paper on top of this once or I could just go in and color the glass with like a Copic marker or something. Where in Disney what? When in Disney do, yeah, right, exactly. So funny. And then he was getting in the car I'm like, "You're not driving home." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine." I said, "Go in the other side of the car." What is wrong with you? And so the next day he said, "Do you think I made a bad impression on her new boyfriend?" His name is Dan, by the way. And I said, "I don't think so. You were not like, nobody knew that you were tipsy other than me and Sydney. Okay, everybody else just thought you were hanging out good." But it was funny. Oh, was it funny? All right, now what time is it? Oh, we've been on an hour and 25 minutes. All right. Oh yes, I'm going to go look and see if I have any Ranger crackle accents. All right, guys. So do we have any questions? Is anybody still left? Because we actually, I didn't show you this, but all these dies, not all of them, each die set comes with like straws and little umbrellas. So like this one, I just so happened, this is an umbrella I colored just pink and brown with, what do you call that? Copic markers. And then if I wanted to, and if you, so you're going to get you get a short straw, part of a straw, and then a straight straw. So I think, because I don't want my straw to show, I'm going to have my straw kind of like tilted this way, and then move my umbrella. And then, let's see, can I, I don't know, I don't think that's going to work. All right, so you can continue decorating it if you want. And there's all kinds of, I gave you so many different little citrus. They're tiny citrus, medium size, a full, ring of citrus of whatever. If you wanted to make it into an orange, a lemon, passion fruit. I don't know if passion fruit is considered citrus. Lemon, lime, maybe grapefruit, or orange, whatever floats your boat. All right. Are there any questions? Hi, Kathy. All right, guys. So as you can see, these are not just shakers. They're definitely not your mama's shakers. They're meant to be used as a shaker. The little fruit garnishes are, thank you, Sarah, adorable. Yeah, and they all come with something. Like the margarita glass comes with the word margarita. Oh, do I have a mess. So this is the margarita one. You know, I would love to not make a mess every time I go live, but it's just the mimosa mix. Okay, so let's talk about the mimosa. I still think we have some mimosa left, but mimosa is the one that has the oranges in it. But when I mixed it, we didn't have a lot of orange. We just didn't have a lot of the clay orange. So I could only mix. So we have the beer, which does not come with a straw. And then we have the lemonade. And then we have this. So this one right here, I'm going to make this into a Bloody Mary. I might even go dye some of the little ice cubes. Not ice cubes. The salt, like red. Because around here, the rim on a Bloody Mary, they put Cajun spices on it. It's very, very good. So you see you have celery, and you have, this makes cubes, this is your straw, and you have an inner and an outer, so you can either make two different sizes, or you can make it, yes, it's still, so the orange mimosa is still available. And then we have the martini, which does come with the olive on a straw, and then we have pineapple. And I don't know. So see, they're all, you're going to have to look online, because this is what happens to mine. Is I get prototypes, and then I don't go to the warehouse. I should probably, but I don't. So you see, you can have so much fun. So if you wanted to have a longer straw, you can definitely use a straw from one of the other sets for your, if you wanted to make this a strawberry daiquiri. Or you could use the tiny little straw head that came with it. So if you wanted a really long straw, you could probably, if you wanted to, pop this through like this and pop it out the bottom. Like that. And then you could add, and then snip it off, of course. And then you could add your little umbrella and your citrus. And then we have little strawberries that you could put down here. So much fun. So much fun. Yes. All right. So guys, if you don't have any questions, I'm going to call it a night. I did have fun with you guys. I always do. I don't know, and I know I don't always make a card, but I like to teach new things. So please be sure to share your goodness of all of your fun shakers, and not just shakers. Let's just call them your beverages, because I would love to see, because I really enjoy seeing what you guys do with where I create something and then you take my creativity into your own imagination and see what you come up with. So I will be making lots of cards in the next few days with, look how cute. The sangria came out. So cute. Anyway. All right. Have a good evening. See you guys later.